Night of the Bloody Transplant is an ancient gore film made in a particularly snowbound looking Michigan about a pioneering doctor who attempts to perform heart surgery hindered by his peers, but aided by his troublemaking brother, whose running with a hooker leaves the doc with an ideal candidate for heart surgery. Made by entrepreneurial have-a-go filmmakers who even managed to talk real-life policemen into playing themselves in the film. Not every ballsy have-a-go filmmaker out of Michigan, though, can have the career of a Sam Raimi, and after just one more effort, a sexploitation movie called Judy, also made in 1970, Night of the Bloody Transplant's director, David W. Hansen, appears to have thrown in a towel. From a modern day perspective, it's odd to see a heart transplant operation discussed as some taboo, unheard of procedure, an aspect of the film that must have seemed even dated back then, considering that the first heart transplant had been performed back in 1967. Which does make you wonder if Night of the Bloody Transplant maybe have spent a couple of years on the shelf prior to its credited 1970 release date. The tone of Night of the Bloody Transplant is decidedly amateur theatre, occasionally enlivened by Herschel Gordon Lewis type splatter, as well as the vomitous inclusion of real life heart surgery footage in the tradition of such films as Night of the Bloody Apes and Castle of the Creeping Flesh. There's also padding designed to shine a light on local talent, tone-deaf singers, burlesque dancers, nude body painting, giving you a rough idea of what passed for entertainment in chilly Michigan back then. To be honest, it makes you wish they'd shot an entire film's worth of these showbiz wannabes and jumped the whole horror film Mad Doctor angle. Would this film have ever resurfaced on video in the early 80s, and were it not for that exploitable early gore film aspect? Probably not. Saying that, this film isn't exactly well known these days anyway. For years I thought Night of the Bloody Transplant was a video retitling of Doris Wishman's The Amazing Transplant. Has my life been greatly enhanced by the knowledge that The Amazing Transplant and The Bloody Transplant are two separate films? Probably not, but like all these regional horror curios, Night of the Bloody Transplant isn't without its time capsule appeal. Although given how cold the exteriors in Night of the Bloody Transplant look, maybe it's more of a snow globe than a time capsule.